Welcome to Timeless Mysteries. Nobody's here yet, but I just wanted to say hi. I've been working on some new content today, and I just thought I would kind of share with you guys what I've been working on. But I'll just wait a little bit and see if anybody pops in. Hey, welcome to Timeless Mysteries. I've got somebody here. Thanks for stopping in. So I've been working on some content most of the day. I've been writing some new scripts and stuff, and I was just taking a break from that. I'm working on a new channel trailer as well, and let me find my script that I'm working on. But I do appreciate the like that you gave me when you stopped in. Obviously, you couldn't stay, but that's okay. Now, where is it? I've been working on the BTK killer, but I've been focusing on Joseph D'Angelo today in my script, and I'm trying to make this guy sound more scary than the BTK guy, but it just doesn't come out that way. Mm. Welcome. I see I've got another person here. I don't really have anything to talk about. I know I put some fancy title in the title box, I guess you call it. But I've been working on a couple things today. I do got this thing up. I am trying to make a new channel trailer because previously we were covering other things like historical mysteries, conspiracy theories, and ghost stories and stuff. Um, and my old channel trailer kind of talked about those things, so I wanted to write a new one. So that's why this is here. Plus, it's cool because you don't see all the junk behind the curtain. Um, but I don't have. I can use. I don't have a light system, so I don't. I don't know how to do it, but I use my tablet for like a light here, and it kind of works. See, look, now my face is kind of glowing. But yeah, so it's about 9:30 here. So I'm assuming it's like midnight uh, in most of the other parts of the world where my subscribers live. Hey, Wendy. Yeah, it kind of works. I turn on this white screen for, well, basically it's a drawing app on my tablet. But yeah, um, I'm trying to find the draft that I was working on for uh, Joseph D'Angelo. What was his other name? It was JJ, but I forget what it is. Joe D'Angelo was the Golden State Killer, but that wasn't always his name, which I think is kind of interesting. I only recognize him because of his name, the Golden State Killer. But before that, he was known as the East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker. And he didn't get really noticed by the public until they came up with the Golden State Killer. Um, but I've been working on this series where I compare two killers. But really, it's more about, like, I guess it's, basically two stories in one video, because I do take time and kind of talk about one killer, why he's scary, and then I talk about the other one, and then I kind of compare them and give my opinion on who's scarier. Um, it's not real fancy, but today I was reading about the Golden State Killer, and how he basically went into people's houses is kind of unique because he didn't just go into people's houses. He actually like watched these people, learned when they went to bed. He saw when they were gone, and he would actually test out doors. Like, who does that? Instead of like just breaking in whenever he felt like it, he would literally go to these houses when he thought people were gone. He would practice Jimmy and the lock. He would leave ligatures in the house so that when he did go in to attack them, he wouldn't need to bring anything, and people wouldn't even notice these things. And I mean, it's kind of scary. They would There's plenty of reports that these people who were attacked and did survive, they heard sounds outside of their house. And um, it's pretty it's pretty scary. Like when you think about it, the police believe that if people heard something before they got attacked, most likely it was this guy. He was out there lurking in the dark, hiding, watching. And a vampire serial killer. 6:30 a.m. in the UK. Wow, you're in the UK. You're up early. What is it? Sunday morning there? What are you doing up so early? Yeah. So tell me about this vampire serial killer, um, because that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so when I was looking for information on how the Golden State Killer killed people, like he didn't start out as a killer. He started out breaking into houses, and then it progressed from there, and it went into he was raping people. So he would go into a house where a woman was sleeping by herself, and I'll have to look up Richard Chase. I haven't heard of him yet, but I'm interested. But anyway, so like the BTK guy, he would go into these houses and he would rape women. But then like people started noticing, and they had town meetings and stuff, and they were all complaining about this killer or this rapist in the area and why they weren't found and whatnot. And some guy stood up and said, well, if he comes to my house, I'm going to kill him. And that that guy was most likely in the building when that other guy said that. And he actually became the first male victim. And he started going into these people's houses. He would wake up the woman with a flashlight shining in her face. And, he'd be standing there with a giant knife in his other hand, and he would whisper things to her like, you better be quiet or I'm going to kill everyone. And, she's terrified. She just woke up. She doesn't know what's happening because like when you first wake up, you never know. Like it takes a second or two to like wake up enough to understand where you are, why you're awake, and what you've been doing. So these women were terrified. And then, once he got them, you know, woken up, he would have them tie up the men, and he would make them like laid there in the bed, be tied up, and then he would tie up the woman, and then he would go and retie up the male, put some plates on him as some kind of alarm system. So if the guy started struggling and tried anything, those plates fell, he would tell them that he was going to kill everyone. And so um, this became this new thing. And, he would go walk around the house, do whatever he felt like doing until he got ready to do what he actually came to do. So he would untie the woman, take her to another room, and make sure that the husband could hear as he raped her. And That was his big thing. Um, and it's terrifying. And I was watching a couple documentaries on it, and some of the victims, eh, I I can't even imagine. One girl, she ran away from home and she'd been gone for 2 weeks, and she got a call from somebody and said, "Hey, you got to come home. Your mom and her new husband or boyfriend have been murdered." I mean, can you imagine losing a parent after you're, you know, you have this big argument and you run away and you say, "Stay out of my life," and da 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 da. It's kind of crazy. But I've been trying to write about this, and it's really hard to write about because I don't know, like when I wrote about the BTK, I actually had to take a break for a couple days because I think I got him looking pretty scary, pretty accurately, the monster that he was. And um I don't know, it's just different when you write about these scary things that happen. I I don't know. It's kinda it would be more fun to write about it if it wasn't real, but because it's real, it makes it hard. Um, I don't like I don't like trying to imagine these people killing people, and I can totally imagine how the victims feel, they're I can feel it. So, it makes it hard for me to write about it. Um, but I'm working on that, and I'm hoping that by tomorrow I get it all finished, and then I can start recording it. Today, I don't know. I probably should have did more work. I have a 3-day weekend, so I'm excited. I got an extra day to sleep in and write, and I was hoping to have like 3 or 4 new things recorded. But then I decided to put this thing up and try to make a new um, channel trailer. And I ended up making some pretty bad jokes, I think. I don't know. It's probably not going to work out. I'm probably going to have to rewrite it and redo it. But yeah, I'm going to Google this Richard Chase guy and see what I find. Oy. He's an um, interesting. He looks like a vampire. Um, he was from Sacramento, California. Go figure. There's a lot of killers in California. And he used LSD. That's probably the big reason why he's a killer. I think drugs are a big problem with people, especially, oh, I'm losing my light. My tablet's dying. Let me see if I can find a video to watch on this guy. Hmm. The Vampire of Sacramento, Richard Chase. That looks pretty scary. Let me. I just gotta change something here. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Here we go. I think I'm sharing this. I hope. That is so stupid. I have no words. I don't know what we're watching, but it's good. The music. Wow, there is no video. That is insane. They just play this crappy music. Well, that was interesting. Um, This looks like a real video.
The
This guy was actually drinking blood. I think I've read that drinking blood is actually very bad for you. And my tablet is dying. That's why the light keeps turning off. The screen is not supposed to shut off, but because it's dying, it is. Um, Holy cow. This guy is drinking blood for real. You know, I was in the Philippines for a while, and they actually have this blood soup thing that's disgusting. I can't even imagine. Um, I can't even imagine drinking blood, like real blood, human blood. Ugh. I think he was mentally ill because of the. When I hear about somebody killing a child, it just, it's bad enough to hear about somebody drinking human blood, but why kill a child? The one thing about the Golden State Killer that I was reading today was that he actually, um, like, there was one victim, she was sleeping with her 3-year-old son before he raped her. So he tied her up, and, she was terrified. And then all of a sudden she realized that she didn't have her son anymore. And she was, wondering where he was. And so she didn't even, like, pay attention during the rape because she was concerned about her son. And then after he was done, he put the boy back with his mother, which is kind of creepy and weird too. But yeah,
just my youngest son. And to get away. I
these
do
kind of
remember
stories,
that out of
these kind of stories just break my heart because I just can't imagine. Well, my problem is I can imagine what the kid feels, and I don't like it at all. I can't. It's really hard for me to deal with a child. I've never heard of this guy. Um, I think I've heard of, I think I've read about somebody who drank blood, but I never really paid attention to it. But there was a lot of killers from the Sacramento area. Um, but I don't think this is a good story. I'm trying to look for something different. Um, Jesus, the people are horrible. But yeah, I don't know how to describe. I haven't finished working on the Golden State Killer video because I haven't found a good way to write the story. And it, it's complicated because he didn't just kill people; he tortured them and he raped them and he planned his murders. I saw something on 48 Hours here on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it. And it's not letting me. Uh, well, I haven't seen this one yet, but I watched this one and it's pretty good. Um,
To his neighbours, Joseph D'Angelo was an unlikable, whinging curmudgeon. No doubt he would have bitched at the nickname they gave him too, Crazy Joe. But that's nothing compared with the label police and prosecutors in the United States are now trying to pin on him. They accuse D'Angelo of being the Golden State Killer, a serial murderer and rapist as vile as has ever lived. In the 1970s and 80s, it's alleged he wreaked havoc all over the state of California, all the while evading capture. And he might have gotten away with it forever, except for some of the most innovative detective work you'll ever see.
See, he looks like, this old man, and that he has no, like, that he's in a wheelchair. He's an old man. And to some degree, he is a successful killer. He lived his entire life. Um, but there's still life left in this guy because I saw him talking. Um, Here he kind of looks, like he's medicated and, decrepit or something, but he's not.
Caught in Sacramento, California, an extraordinary and shocking piece of history is unfolding. A frail old man is being accused of monstrous crimes.
Joseph James D'Angelo, your true and correct legal name?
But looking at this 72-year-old now, only an angry glare gives away any hint that for decades, Joseph James D'Angelo was America's most wanted man, the Golden State Killer. How confident are you that you have the right man?
It's 100%.
Not a shadow of a doubt.
Not a shadow of a doubt.
If D'Angelo is the notorious Golden State Killer, and the overwhelming evidence says he is, then he is evil beyond comprehension. Someone who committed at least...
Yeah, I'm already kind of bored with this, but this is one of the victims. Let me see. This looks a little interesting.
Bringing the murderer to justice had been Detective Paul Hull's unsuccessful obsession for more than 20 long years. But frustration turned to fruition when he had the idea to upload DNA taken from the Golden State Killer's crime scenes. The world's fifth largest economy. It's the Canberra of California, home.
I saw a bright light shining down the hall.
This would be a good
My
story.
husband was just leaving for work, and my 3-year-old son came out of his bedroom. And
This is the story I was talking about a minute ago, where the killer took the son, put him somewhere else, and then brought him back. I don't know if it was some kind of kindness or what, but it's definitely a better story than the child getting murdered too.
and got in bed with me to snuggle. Within 2 minutes, I saw a bright light shining down the hall and someone running down the hall. I hardly had time to react when I looked up, and there was a man wearing a ski mask, holding a large butcher knife.
It was 1996, long before America knew of the Golden State Killer, and 30-year-old Jane Carson Sandler about to become victim number 5 of a serial rapist stalking the eastern suburbs of Sacramento.
He proceeded to tie us both up, our ankles and our wrist, with shoelaces.
He was tying your son up.
Yes, and he gagged us both, and he blindfolded us both. I'm wondering, what is this guy contemplating? And he did it for the longest time. And then, as soon as he untied my ankles, then I knew what he was there for. The fear was so overwhelming. I'll never forget it.
Callously, after sexually assaulting her, the attacker spent more than an hour inside Jane's house, helping himself to what was in her cupboards, and even cooking a meal before finally leaving. When you found out that you were victim number 5 and that your rapist was a serial offender, did that make any difference to how you felt?
Well, I figured if I was number 5, there's going to be probably a number 6, 7, 8, but I never realized it would be up to 50. I mean, it was crazy.
Why the police can't catch the rapist and worried about their own homes being violated.
I put locks on my
A
doors.
sex attacker on the loose became the lead story
The next rape could be anywhere.
in every Sacramento news bulletin. He was quick.
That's crazy. And, we live in a world with cameras everywhere, and it's kind of better because we don't have to deal with this kind of stuff as much. I mean, there's still killers out there. There's still people getting away with murder. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to jump off of here. But I am planning to post a video in the next day or so It's almost done. It's about Chris Coleman. I know last week I talked about it was almost done. Well, now it's actually really almost done. And I could post it now, but there's a couple of things I'm just fixing on it. And then hopefully next week I'll be able to post the Ted Bundy video with the Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer's Who's Scarier kind of video. But it was nice talking to you. Have a good morning there in England, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, guys.